Let's read the winners of Goodreads 2024 Choice Awards. Every year, Goodreads voters, users, vote on their favorite books in each genre. Let's review some of the results and choose the books that we're going to be reading. The winner for fiction was The Wedding People with 94,000 votes. So this is for the genre fiction. I have not read this book yet. Also, I'm only really going to mention genres that I primarily read. Next up, we have The Women by Kristen Hanna. This is for historical fiction. I haven't read this book, but I'll be honest, I'm not going to read this book in this video because I have an idea for a different video. So stay tuned because I will be reading this very soon. Next, we have mystery thriller. That winner was The God of the Woods. I did read this last year, so it's not going to be read in this video. Then we have the winner for romance, which is actually Funny Story, which I have in my shelf right up here, but I did read that last year, so we won't be reading that. Second place went to Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and I haven't read this book, so we're going to be reading this in this video. I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to this since it came out. Next genre is fantasy, and the winner for that was Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. This is book 2 in this little mini series that he has. The first book being The House in the Cerulean Sea, which I read maybe 2 years ago now. I haven't read this book, so I'm actually going to be reading this in this video. Let's get right into it. The Wedding People is actually the first one that I've picked up, and I actually have started it. As you can see, I have a bookmark. I'm about 50% of the way through it, and so far I'm liking it. I'm not obsessed. I'm not loving it. Honestly, the first maybe 100 pages I was not so much into it. I didn't really care for the characters, which sucks, but they're starting to grow on me, and I'm starting to kind of see and feel out what the actual plot and story of the book is going to be. Very, very interesting premise with our main character Phoebe. She's just going through it and sees no other way out. So she goes to this hotel, this nice luxury hotel. At this specific hotel, there's actually a huge wedding going on, hence the name The Wedding People. So she starts to run into literally the bride and then other people in the party, and we just kind of start to see her come out of this mindset that she was in. We're gonna continue reading this. I'm on page 192, almost 200 pages in, so let's continue. Hey guys, it's much later. I'm back from work and everything, and I'm actually holding Just for the Summer because I picked this one up today. I brought The Wedding People with me to work, and I threw it in the backseat of my car, and then when I got home I realized I didn't bring my book out of the car, and I live in an apartment on the 4th floor, and I was just too lazy to go down to the parking garage and pick it up. So I just picked up this book, which is another book that I'm reading for the video anyway, so I figured I might as well get started on it. I'm only 50 pages in, and so far I am liking it. I feel like Abby Jimenez just has some sort of comfort to her work. I just feel ooh, I'm settling into one of my favorite authors' novels, which is always a great feeling. Now, for the actual premise of it, it's a little interesting. There's two characters, obviously our main female and male character, and they both kind of are described as a good luck charm for other people. So they'll date a partner, and then when they break up, the partner somehow finds their soulmate in their next relationship, and this I guess happens to both of them. So they kind of come up with a fake dating scheme that if they both date each other, then when they break up they should both be able to find their partners. And I don't know, something about that just seems a little bit too far-fetched for me and a little bit not realistic. I don't think that would really happen in real life, but it is a book, fiction book at that. So we are reading it. I am liking it so far. There are some cameos, a little bit of sprinkling of some mentions of past characters and other Abby Jimenez books, which I love because those characters are great. So for tonight, I'm just going to continue reading this. Tomorrow, once I go to my car, I'll probably also pick up The Wedding People? Yeah, The Wedding People. So I'll most likely be reading the two kind of interchangeably, and I have no idea what page I even stopped The Wedding People on because I think I read some and then didn't update my Goodreads or Storygraph apps, so I don't know exactly what page I'm on. But now we are reading this book, and I'm gonna try to read a bit more tonight to do some damage because it's not a huge book. It's probably, yeah, about 400 pages, and I'm 50 pages in, so we do have a lot of work to do. This is where we're at. The bookmark that we have is this one. This is honestly one of my favorite bookmarks ever. I feel like I always gravitate towards it. It literally says, "A well-read woman is a dangerous creature." Ain't that true? There we go. Okay, so gonna continue reading this. You guys, I will update with some more thoughts once I'm a little bit further into the book. Sorry the lighting is shitty, but I've continued reading a bit. I'm on page 142, which is about 35% through. If you can hear whistling in the background, sorry. But anyway, I do have a couple of thoughts. First and foremost, Justin, our male main character, such a green flag. Like, things he's doing, that he's literally going out of his way to make sure Emma, our female main character, just feels so comfortable with him, his presence, his dates, like everything. He is literally dream man material. Like, the things that he's doing, making questionnaires and everything to make sure she's like satisfied and happy, crazy. But Emma, on the other hand, I don't know if I'm the only one in thinking this, but I feel like she's kind of a bad friend, like just a little bit. I don't know. I think like if she were doing the things that she's doing to her best friend Maddie, to me, like I would be pissed. But I also see where she has like some very difficult relationships she's trying to navigate, especially within her own immediate family. So I get that, and she's giving people like second chances, which again, I get that, but I don't know, she's being kind of a bad friend to her best friend Maddie, who she's literally living with, so that's a little weird. But as far as the romance goes, I'm convinced they do have really good chemistry, and I do believe it, so I am very much enjoying it. But like I mentioned, I'm just a little suspicious about Emma and her, not intentions, because I know what she's trying to do, but I don't know if I just love like what she's doing and how she's like navigating things. But that's just me. Justin, on the other hand, love him. Something about Abby Jimenez is she's always gonna write like my favorite male main character, so I just know whatever he's gonna do in the future is gonna be crazy. And I also feel like with Emma's own personal problems, like there's another shoe that's gonna drop and things are gonna get hectic, which I feel like does always happen in Abby Jimenez books. So I am prepared, but also a little like scared and timid because I don't know where this is gonna go at all. Hi guys, good morning. It's the next day. I have my little microphone with me, so it's a little fancy up in here. But anyway, I'm sitting in my car and I'm on page 208. So we're about halfway through the book at this point, and for me right now it's probably sitting at a 4-star. I think it's very, very solid. I would say I think my favorite part of the book is probably Justin, and I just really like him as a character. I really like the things he does, especially in a romance book. Like, you want your character to put in some work, and he's definitely putting in the work. So far, no complaints really, besides one or two things that our female main character Emma has done. I just feel like if someone did that to me in real life, I'd be like, I don't know. It's a little unrealistic in my opinion, but what I do like and appreciate is that both of them are dealing with some very tough problems, some very real life shiz. They just have things going on that are kind of out of their control, and they're just trying to make the best of it. Again, they are under this like fake dating scheme to hopefully find their partner for life. And so obviously I feel like I know where it's gonna go. I do predict a couple more bumps, but overall I feel like I know where it's gonna end up. But so far so good. It's not my favorite Abby Jimenez book at the halfway point, but I am enjoying my time reading it. I'm sitting in my car because I'm at work, but I stepped out for a little break, and I think I'm gonna go get some coffee or something. I was debating on like going into the coffee shop and eating in there. I don't know what coffee shop I'm going to. Might be Starbucks. It probably will be. But it's kind of raining on and off, and I just don't want to get caught up in the rain. Like, that just does not sound fun. So I might just pick up the coffee and then come back into the car and keep reading, because I do want to definitely do some more damage on this. Hopefully finish it today. I have no idea. We will just see. But those are kind of my current thoughts for now about the book. Okay, I'm back in the car and I just picked up my coffee, and I actually think this is kind of fun. I ended up going to Starbucks, but in the book, they actually mention their Starbucks drinks, so like Emma and Justin both. And Emma says she drinks a salted caramel cold foam cold brew. So that's what I got. I actually think I will like this because this is definitely something I would order. I'm usually a latte or a caramel macchiato type of girly. I like iced drinks. And honestly, vanilla latte or like a caramel latte is usually my go-tos.
So this should be right up my alley. I haven't had their cold foam in so long. I feel like I'm not usually one to get cold foam, but let's see what this tastes like. I've never had this drink before. I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. I haven't been drinking like iced coffees from stores or coffee shops in like a week, not week, in weeks, if not like months now, because since I think I mentioned this in a couple of my videos now, but since we got an espresso maker at home, we'll make our coffee at home, and honestly, like, it just tastes so good. Like, honestly, I think I like my home coffee better than I like this one tea, but I mean, it's not bad. I like the cold foam, which is not something I have at home. I mean, honestly, it tastes like a coffee I make at home, but not bad. So that's fun. I got the actual literal same coffee that she gets in this book. I also got an Impossible sandwich. You can't see it, but it's in here. And then I had like some points and rewards. So I also got a chocolate croissant. So I can save this and eat it later. But for now, I'm probably just gonna enjoy this drink and my little breakfast sandwich. I'm like not convinced. I don't think I would order it again. Maybe that's why I'm like, because it's good, but like I mentioned, honestly, it's nothing crazy. I give it like, honestly, like a 5 out of 10. I feel like what I am definitely realizing from this book is like no matter how hard of things you're currently going through, and that goes for both Justin and Emma, I feel like they're finding comfort in each other, and that is so cute because it really makes you believe in their romance. And I don't know, I feel like that is realistic when you're going through tough stuff in your life. Like you just need someone to be there and be a sliver of just happiness and comfort, and that just helps ease the pain and the just darkness surrounding some like tough family situations.
Okay, we are in the final home stretch of Just for the Summer. We have a little bit less than 100 pages left, so let's see if we can finish this up. Let's see if we can finish this up. Just finished Just for the Summer, and I have some thoughts. So I think I am gonna stick with a 4-star rating for this, which is still a really good rating. I will say I don't think it's my favorite Abby Jimenez book by far. Up to this point now, I've read all of her books besides like her short stories, and I think I would rate maybe 3 or 4 of them above this one. And I think I've read, sorry, I'm looking at them off to the side here, 2, 4, 6. So there's that. I do still really enjoy this book, and I really had a fun time reading it. I do like that this book was just very honest. I feel like the topics discussed were pretty heavy, and I really liked something that our main character said. Let me try to find it. The love story sold as the wrong thing. The best kind of love doesn't happen on moonlit walks and romantic vacations. It happens in between the folds of everyday life. So it's just talking about how like it's not all grand gestures and all this good stuff. It's like those little tiny things when you're having a rough time, or just little acts of service that your partner needs in day-to-day mundane life, which I really liked, like that overall message. For it to win the Goodreads award over, actually no, it didn't win. This is second place behind Funny Story Here by Emily Henry, and this was second place, but since I had already read this one, I chose to read this one. And I would say I think I did like this one better than this one. I don't remember what I rated this, probably a 4-star as well, but I think I liked this one a little bit better. But I would still recommend both, even though honestly both of these are not my favorites by these authors. Like I've liked other Emily Henry books better, and I've liked other Abby Jimenez books better. But if you did really enjoy this one and you haven't read Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez, then you would really like this one, because I found that there are a lot of similarities between these two books. Also the little cameos of our other characters, because this is part of an interconnected series. I think this book might be Wait, actually this was a part of a different interconnected series, so that's kind of funny that there's still like mentions of characters. Actually, no. What am I talking about? There's no, actually, there's a slight little invisible string from this book. The whole found family aspect is from the interconnected series, but this is a different interconnected series that Abby Jimenez has, and I found this one to be kind of similar to this one just in terms of like the topics that are brought up. So with that being said, we finished our romance read. Now we can move on to a different book, and I think we're gonna go back to our fiction pick, which is The Wedding People. I actually did get it out of my car today once I got home, but I think it's in my living room. I went to go grab The Wedding People. This is the fiction pick from the Goodreads Choice Awards. This book won for the genre fiction. So I had actually picked this up a few days ago already. I'm on page 217, so that's about 50% of the way through. So we're not starting from scratch here, but I literally read, I think, over 200 pages alone for just for the summer. So I think I'm just gonna quit reading for the rest of the day. It's already almost, I think it's 9 p.m. Yeah, literally 9 p.m. on the dot. So we're gonna put the books down for now, but I just wanted to show you guys what I'm gonna be reading next, going back to The Wedding People, and I'm definitely gonna pick it up tomorrow and see kind of what we're feeling with this. Where I'm at right now, I am really liking it. I feel like it was kind of a slow intro that it took me a while to kind of warm up to the plot and the characters, but where we're at right now, I think we're in a very precarious, entertaining point in the plot where I don't know what's gonna happen next, so I am enjoying it for now. That's it for tonight. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Okay, a little update for The Wedding People. I'm now about 60 to maybe 70% through the book, and I do see why a lot of people like this book. It's very much growing on me. I'm liking the characters. Phoebe definitely is kind of warming her way into my heart because I just can see the way she thinks is very realistic. Like at this point, she feels she has nothing to lose. So she's thinking nothing is ever that serious. These wedding people, the bridal party, everybody at this hotel right now has problems, and they're very valid problems, but she's just kind of like, life's too short, honestly. Like, why? Let's just figure this out, you know? We don't need to stress about this. And I actually really like that. I feel like it's such a refreshing view on the world. I feel like I tend to think that way too, that nothing's ever that serious. I don't know, just some things are too trivial in life. Like, life's too short to not be happy and just do what you want to do because you only live once. And I feel like she's very much in this train of thought now because of everything she's been through and just because of the time and place that she's in right now. So I very much appreciate that, and I really just like that. I feel like it's super refreshing. It's very raw and honest. So I'm just gonna continue reading it, and then we'll see how I end up feeling. Am I gonna finish this book today? I don't know, but we'll see. Right now it's probably sitting at a 4. I feel like it was at like a 3.5, 3.75, but now it's like jumped up. So I don't know. I feel like this last little third is going to be pretty important in terms of what my final rating is going to be, but I do feel like something's going to happen. So far, it's not felt monotonous, but it's very much just a wedding party, attending a wedding in a really rich hotel, and this woman Phoebe is definitely an outsider, but now she's kind of warming her way in literally to the wedding party. And so it doesn't seem like plot wise there's so much happening, but definitely in terms of what our characters are going through in character development, there's a lot going on there. Okay, I want to do a quick update on The Wedding People. I am now about 300 pages in, 308 to be exact, and that's about 85% of the way through. So I'm like literally about to finish this up. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it went back down to like a 3.5, 3.75. I'm not really feeling it. I usually do like contemporary fiction books because they are slower paced, but they deal with more like realistic type of topics and they're just more relatable in some senses. But this one is just kind of dragging on at this point, which is very unfortunate because I feel like for me, this was a very highly anticipated read. I feel like I even maybe thought it would be a 5-star read, but that's not what it's giving right now. And I don't really see why or how it got voted like the best book of the year for Goodreads because I'm just not feeling it, at least for the fiction genre. I don't even know what the other the other books that were beat by this one were. So let's see if we read those. Okay, so the winner was The Wedding People. Number 2 was Intermezzo by Sally Rooney, which I did not read. Blue Sisters is on there, which I read in January, and honestly I cannot stop thinking about that book. I actually really loved it. Margot's Got Money Troubles is one that's on my TBR, and it's like high on my TBR. Like I'm really hoping to read it next month, so I don't know what that's about. Okay, those are, yeah, there weren't too many that I'm super familiar with, but I don't know, it's interesting. It's not my favorite book by far, unless something crazy happens in these last, like, I think maybe like 50 pages, then we'll see, but I don't really anticipate that happening for now. Anyway, so I'll probably end up finishing that either today or tomorrow, just because I am almost done with it. Tomorrow, I do have a little sip and paint event here at my apartment. It's just gonna be me, my fiance, my sister, and her husband, and I'm so excited. Every month we've planned to do like a fun event. So January, we did like a vision board night. Last month we did Galentine's, which I actually got in my vlog. That was me reading romance books for for a week. And now this time it's a sip and paint hosted by me. So I do have a couple of things in my closet, like canvases and paints and whatnot, that we're gonna use tomorrow, but I'm just letting you guys know that if you end up seeing some footage of that in this video, that's what that's about. Okay, let's go back to reading The Wedding People and hopefully finishing it. I'm back and I have officially finished The Wedding People. I ended up rating it 4 stars. I very much enjoyed this book. I feel like the last like 10%, chef's kiss. Loved it. I got the message, loved the pacing, loved the characters, but overall it's not probably my favorite book ever. It's probably not in my favorites. I will say I probably will remember it just because I really did like that last 10%. I feel like overall I got a really good message out of it, and that's obviously sometimes one of the main reasons you love reading. Is just you're able to walk away with something, and it was a bit thought-provoking, which I always love that in my reads, but couldn't really get over the first like third of it being a little boring for me, and the characters weren't doing it for me. So those are kind of my thoughts. Was it the best fiction book of 2024? I guess I would probably say Blue Sisters. Let me grab it out of my bookshelf. Actually, I would say I actually enjoyed this one a lot more than I enjoyed this one. So if you're watching this and you haven't read either one, I would definitely recommend this one over this one. But this one was still really good, had a great message. So that's all I have to say. Moving on for this little challenge, we are now reading the Goodreads fantasy winner, which was Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune, which is really interesting to me because fantasy is a very popular, very well-liked genre. So for this to win, that kind of surprised me a bit. This is the sequel to The House in the Cerulean Sea, which I read in like 2022, 2023. So it's been a few years. I do still remember like what happened in it. I remember the characters very clearly because that was actually a really good book. I did really like that one. So I am looking forward to this one. I really have no idea what to expect. I don't really know like what's gonna happen. I don't necessarily feel like The House in the Cerulean Sea needed a sequel. So I guess we'll just kind of see what this one has. Now in chapter 3 of the book, and I want to kind of explain like what the book is about. So this is primarily going to be about Arthur, who is kind of the headmaster of this orphanage on a very peculiar little island. And this orphanage is not a regular orphanage. It's one that he grew up in, had a very traumatic past in, and now all the kids kind of have their own little magical powers, and they're all very unique and interesting. And so in this book, Arthur is being called to make kind of a sort of public statement about his past, and obviously his hopes are that no one ever has to kind of live the traumatic upbringing that he had to live. So that's kind of where we're starting off. In the first book, it's really all about Linus, who is a social worker, who is very by the book, very strict with how he does things, and he goes to this island to kind of do, not a checkup, but I guess because he's a social worker. So he goes and he meets Arthur and he meets all the little kids, and let's just say he has a very, very fun time there. So in this book, he is currently still with Arthur, and they are both now kind of a team, and together they're going to try to face this kind of, not change, but this public statement that we don't know what's going to happen with it, what the results are going to be, how it's going to be taken, and then of course keep the children safe, because now Arthur wants to adopt the children. So it's very cozy, very family-like. There is one new kid that's going to be going into this orphanage, and his name is David, I think. And we don't really know much about David. Just in the 2 chapters that I have read, it's just kind of hinted that he also has these like kind of special magical powers, or there's just something not normal about him. So I'm very excited to see what that's going to be about, and so far I am enjoying it. It's very cozy. It's kind of just a cozy feel-good type of book. It's not really one that has like a mystery, thrilling, sort of super fast-paced plot. There is a little bit of a romance, so I will say that, and other than that, it's just these kids having a fun time. It is an adult book though, I will say that, because at first I was like, oh, this is definitely giving like YA vibes, and I would recommend it to like a young adult reader, but there are some topics I feel like that are discussed that are kind of more adult, so I would say it is an adult kind of cozy book. This is such a cute little magical world. Definitely fantasy with a bit of like magical realism, although I guess magical realism, it's a fantasy book, so there are already things in there that like aren't real. I don't know. Time for a little update on Somewhere Beyond the Sea. I'm now 50% through the book. I will say the first like 10% was so drama. It was so tea. There's a court hearing that's very chaotic, and I was just like wanted my popcorn because it was very entertaining. Now the rest of the book up until where I'm at now is kind of us getting back into the groove of things, really kind of getting to see what the family dynamics are like at the orphanage, because these kids are hilarious. And it's funny obviously because they're all magical creatures, so they all have kind of different personalities and different dangers to themselves. So as Linus and Arthur are really trying to be kind of like the father figures, it's difficult because one thing you say to one of them does not exactly pertain to the next child, but you don't want to be like unfair. So it's very tricky trying to see how those family dynamics are playing out. But with that being said, the children are so funny. I've literally laughed out loud multiple times, and they're so charming as well. So I am very much enjoying this book, and I do want to finish it up very soon though. Like for example, yesterday I went to work and I actually put it on audiobook, which I do definitely recommend, because the different voices, like whoever does the voices of the children, props to you, because they are so animated and they're very, very distinctly different. So it's really funny getting to see like the children's voices, because their personality really kind of shines through. So I'm kind of switching on and off between the audiobook and the physical copy, but the physical copy I'm literally about halfway through. So that's kind of where we're sitting at now. And I'm going to continue reading this today, potentially tomorrow, and finish it up so we can give you my final thoughts. Putting my tripod away, but I was gonna say that I'm actually heading to work in a little bit, but the good thing about that is that I actually work really, really close to a Barnes & Noble, so I might stop there later, like in a few hours, and just do some more reading, because like I mentioned, that is my goal, is to finish this book up ASAP. Okay, this is getting really cute and very emotional, and I'm really liking it. It's growing on me. Chauncey is my favorite. Oh, I don't know why the lighting looks like really weird because it's early, but it looks like dark. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on, but here to give you guys the final update of this video because I just finished Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune and I ended up rating it 4.5 stars. I really overall just felt this book was very charming, very magical. There are so many bonds that you first see in the first book and by now they're just becoming more developed and you grow to love these characters. And I feel like too, it just touches on things that are really important to take into account in today's day and age. It talks about institutionalized bigotry, just dehumanizing groups of people. I think it's just very interesting the way, like the social commentary of it all. I will say definitely check out the acknowledgements in this book because the author really just kind of pops off. What else? Yeah, I just found it to be really heartwarming. I ended up liking it more than I thought I was going to. I feel like at times I felt like it was kind of dragging on like towards the beginning, but then I really like kind of settled in and got very comfortable with our characters and the plot. I will say plot wise it was very similar to the first book, but I'm not really docking that, I'm just kind of pointing it out. Overall 4.5 stars, obviously that's a great rating. Definitely recommend it. I will say it wasn't completely necessary after the first book, but now that I read it, I do recommend it if you have read the first book, and I do feel like now there's going to be another book, so who knows, this might turn into a trilogy. I think this might have been my favorite book in this video. I don't know. I still really did like Just for the Summer. Oh, I have them right here. Still really liked this one. I think I might go with first, second, and third. So do I think this one deserved to win fantasy? Absolutely. It just makes you feel good. And when a book can do that, it deserves all the credit. Very good romance, top tier. Abby Jimenez, she knows what she's doing. So this actually didn't win, it got second place, but I would argue it probably should have won. And then this one, I do feel like I read other books that were better in this specific like genre and category, so I don't think, I'm not gonna say I don't think it should have won. My opinion was different. So there you have it, guys. I read Goodreads favorites from last year. That's it for the video. It was a long one, so sorry and thank you for sticking by. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.